inviting His Holiness for a precious Dhamma teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liaoming, homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today. The great sage at the center, Akalanata. Sumo, Danchen Ketsu, Tutan City, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon. How do you do?
Hola amigo. Hola amigo. Te quiero mucho. Te quiero mucho. Sugoi. Sugoi. Ichiba. Ichiba. Kimochi. Kimochi. Yumi. Yumi. Yapi. Yapi. Purin purin. Purin purin. Konnichiwa.
Now, I would like to announce for next Sunday, August 30th, 3 p.m., we will perform Uchisama Homa fire offering ceremony. Uchisama. We all know that Uchisama is also one of the deities who dispels epidemics. We can use the black sesame seeds to represent the coronaviruses. And we can throw the black sesame seeds into the fire to eradicate all of the coronavirus. So, the Uchisama Homa fire offering ceremony, so the Dharma practice procedure, I will write in my books. So this ceremony is very important. The Uchisama Homa fire offering ceremony. And Uchisama was the transformation of Sakyamuni Buddha, the founder of Buddhism. the Vajra emanation of Sakyamuni Buddha. This deity is extremely important. And I hope everybody become the primary supplicants. We hope that the coronavirus can be eradicated soon, and the vaccine can be available soon, so that the people on earth are not affected by the harm caused by coronavirus, so that we can leave behind the fear of coronavirus, that everyone can be healthy and safe, that in the future we don't have to wear any mask anymore. This is very important Homa. So today we had the Homa ceremony of Akalanata, and the so-called the great sage at the center, and the Buddha who's at the center is Vairocana Buddha, the great son Tathagata. And he's the Vajra body of Vairocana Buddha, or the great son Tathagata. And he's the head, first and foremost, of the 8 wisdom kings, and the 5 wisdom kings. This deity was the most important and primary protector. And then later on, Yamantaka also appeared. So Grandmaster had 2 key protectors. One is Akalanata and the other one is Yamantaka. 2 deities as Grandmaster's greatest protectors. And I highly revere or respect Akalanata. At my consultation room, I hang an image of Akalanata. Every time before spiritual consultation, I would invoke the Golden Mother from the primordial pond, and I would invoke all the Avalokitesvara Bodhisattvas, and then I would invoke all the goddesses from the 20 heavens, and then I would invoke all the deities, and lastly, I would invoke Akalanata. So Akalanata is one of the Grandmaster's great protectors. And his vows are extremely tremendous. His vows is that those who see me create the Bodhisattva vow. Those who see me cut the evil and gain virtues. Those who hear of me gain great wisdom. And
这是最伟大的誓愿，这个誓愿很伟大。
Those are truly great protector. There were many Dhamma practices, as I mentioned before already. And for this Akala, thank you for everybody to become the primary supplicants.
这个是要讲的，就上面写2个字。
I thought I had to say this, but it said ginger tea.
这个在说法开始的时候。
Before the Dhamma teaching, I would start with a joke.
有一个人啊，他想学一个乐器。
Someone wants to study music, want to pick a musical instrument.
他是这样子讲。 这个乐器能够凸显一个人又古典
And the musical instrument can show an ancient and elegant aspect of a person. So this person told the teacher, a musical instrument that can show me to be classic and elegant, and the musical instrument should be very simple. We all know that some musical instruments are very complicated, like when you learn how to play piano or guitar or playing a flute. It's rather complicated. And I'm very lazy. And it would be best if I can master it right away. So, what kind of musical instrument would you like to recommend to me? And the teacher answers, just play the wooden fish. I find that playing musical instruments is quite difficult. In our Buddhist studies, we should not be too lazy. Although musical instruments are very difficult to master, but studying Buddhism is also very difficult. I prayed to Golden Mother before. Do you have a golden egg or a divine egg that you give to me so I can just eat it and I don't have to practice and immediately I can attain Buddhahood? I don't have to learn anything, then I can become a Buddha. And Golden Mother told me, I will not speak to you. is no such thing.
这个在汉武帝的内传，汉武帝的内传里面有写到。
In the biography of Han Wuti, it was
是
written,
一个成就很大的皇帝。
Han Wuti is an emperor with great
他的这个
achievement.
开辟疆土非常的大。
He developed his
汉
country.
希望他做了2件事情。
Han Wuti did 2 things.
在
One,
嵩山啊，这个中国的嵩山的顶上，
at the Songsan, China, at the peak of Mount Song.
做酒。他要做什么呢？他要祈请瑶池金母
He sat there to pray to Golden Mother
的仙丹，
to give him immortal
就他仪式做了好久。
elixir.
瑶池金母降临，赐给他一个不死的仙丹。
And he did it for a long time to Golden Mother
结果
to
等
give him
建交
the magic potion, the elixir.
以后啊，所有的道士念经，
And after the ritual was completed,
他看到
being chanted by Taoist masters, etc.
仙丹，
And then he checked out the plate and there was still no
到最后他实在没有
elixir
办法
there. And finally he had no other ways.
他就派这个习福，有没有？习福啊，习是双人习啊，福是福气的福啊，有没有？派习福
Then he asked someone
3000
by the name Sifu
铜
to bring 3,000 boys and 3,000 girls
入海，去
on
帮
a ship
他寻
to
找
go into the
不
ocean
死的仙
to
丹。
help him find the immortal
结果
elixir.
他到了日本。
And according to legend, they arrived in Japan.
这个习福的坟墓，
They found the tomb of Shifu.
坟墓，那3000童男跟3000童女
So 3,000 boys and 3,000 girls,
结婚，
and they got married to each
可
other,
能的
and they became Japanese ancestors.
是汉武帝的那时候的传说。
That's the legend of Han Wuti.
所以什么都不能太难。你
That's why you shouldn't be too lazy. The same thing in your Buddhist study.
你一定要很精进。
You should be very diligent.
六度法当中里面的精进，一定要有
Like
精进。
the 6 parameters, the diligence in order to learn anything.
我们进入这个你问我的
Now we will continue with the question and answer
澳门哈，
from Macau.
海量问的。
Yanhua Kai Liang.
师尊如何应用金光
How do
神
we,
在
Grandmaster, how do we utilize the Golden Light Divine Mantra to increase our power during practice?
这个金光神咒，
The Golden Light Divine Mantra
就是保护真人，
is to
增加力
protect
量啊，
the practitioner
结金光神咒的手印，
and to increase the power
金光神咒印，
is you form the Golden Light Divine Mantra mudra
加持你自己，
after chanting the
就可以
mantra
增加
and to
手
bless yourself. That would strengthen the protection.
这个手印呢，
This is the mudra.
接起来，金光
You
神
form
咒
it.
的手印接起来，
The Golden Light Divine Mantra
向下一放，
and place it on top of your head
照
and
在你
release
身
it.
上，
And then light
就
would
照在
be
你身上。
radiated
你念
upon
金
your
光
whole
神咒
body. You chant the Golden Light Divine Mantra.
就有金光守护你，
Then you would be protected by the
就有
Golden
金光
Light.
守护你，
to increase the power of protection. Now, do you know? This Taoist spiritual master. So you chant the Golden Light Divine Mantra first, and then you form the mudra for the Golden Light Divine Mantra that radiates light on top of your head. Then that would protect you and increase power. First question. Second question. From Indonesia, Lian Hoa Nina. Health to Grandmaster and son. Can parents chant Manjushri mantra for their kid who hasn't spoken yet? We have tried all kinds of medical treatments unsuccessfully. We just hope that our child will start learning to speak soon. Please advise. It was asked by Lian Hoa Nina. Parents can chant Manjushri mantra and dedicate the merit for their kid who has not spoken yet. The mantra of Manjushri. Om Alapajanati. I have said that the Sanskrit syllable di is at the heart chakra and the Om is at the tip of the tongue. And Om Alapajanati. And the Di syllable is at the heart chakra. And Om is at the tip of your tongue. At this time, you turn your tongue to the left 3 times, to the right 3 times. This way you will be very eloquent. You turn your tongue to the left 3 times, to the right 3 times. Om Alapajanati. Then you would be very eloquent and clever. You would have the gift of gab. There's this kind of method. Manjushri Bodhisattva. The mantra is to increase the wisdom of all the Bodhisattvas. The most wisdom is Manjushri Bodhisattva. Among all the Arhats, the one with the most wisdom is Sariputra. So this mother wants to dedicate merits for her kid who has not spoken yet. I think this is a good method too. So that the kid can speak soon. And next there is also a fu or talisman called creating sound, making sound. That you cannot make sound, or rather dull, or doesn't sound good, or kids that don't speak well. There's also a talisman that would be useful as well. You can write a letter and ask for it. And you can chant the heart mantra of Manjushri. Bodhisattva and dedicate the merit to the kid who has not spoken yet. Next question. Yanhua Han Hong. Grandmaster, how are you? You once said, when urgent, we can chant only the title of the Hiking Sutra. But if we generally chant Tribuddha Sutra as the key sutra and we want to complete its 1000 recitation urgently, can we also just chant its title? Namo Sutra of Authentic Dharma, who removes all hindrances and bestows good fortune. Please advise. Namo Cao Wang Quan Si Yin Jing. We can chant the title of Hiking Sutra for urgency, because normally you chant Hiking Quan Yin Sutra, but when urgent you can just chant the name Namo Hiking Cao Wang Quan Si Yin Jing. Namo Hiking Avalokitesvara Sutra. This is important. Some people, when urgent, you can chant the mantra of the Yidam or the Rudguru mantra. So, for emergency or urgency, you can chant whatever mantra. But normally you can just chant the title Namo Cao Wang Quan Si Yin Jing. Although you chant to Buddha Sutra, and when urgent, you can just chant to Buddha Sutra, help. I believe that all the Padma Kumaras inside to Buddha Sutra will help you too. Many people, in their dreams, when urgent, they would chant Om Guru Lien Sung Siddhi Hom. Once they chant that, the ghosts disappear. There are many urgency in our lives when driving. We often see on the electric power in Taiwan that the roads are like the mouth of tigers. So walking on the road or riding bicycles on the road or riding motorcycles or driving cars or taking a walk are all dangerous.
Bicycle, motorcycle,
they're all dangerous. So the roads are like the mouth of tigers. How do you say it in English? How do you say that in English? So, when urgent, you don't want to chant Namo Sutra of Authentic Dharma that removes all hindrances and bestows good fortune. That's too long. You just say Tribuddha School, help. Tribuddha Sutra, help. Because if you normally chant Tribuddha Sutra, then you chant Tribuddha Sutra help.
念那个 Om Mani Padme Hum，
Or you chant Root Guru
念
mantra,
念 Om Mani Padme
or
Hum，
you
一早
chant
一
Om
醒
Mani Padme
，Om
Hum.
Mani Padme Hum， 你
When you
念南无
encounter
阿弥
danger,
陀佛，
or you chant
念
Namo
阿弥陀佛，
Amitabha or
当然
Amitabha.
都是有帮助的。
Of course, those are all helpful.
所以这个莲花汉红问的，你就
Question by 莲花汉
佛
红.
经救命就行。
You just say Tribuddha Sutra help.
再来印尼的莲花伟伟，
And from Indonesia, Lianhua Vivi,
顶礼师尊，
homage to Grandmaster.
每一天念高王经，
Why someone who has been chanting the Hiking Sutra 21 times daily
3年，
for 3 years
而变成非常傲慢，
became extremely arrogant, heartless,
喜欢去伤害别
and
人的
enjoy harming other people's hearts.
有人念高王经每天21遍，已经到达3年，反而变成
Why someone who has been chanting the Hiking Sutra 21 times daily for 3 years became extremely arrogant, heartless, and enjoy harming other people's hearts.
在这个修行当中，有些人
Actually, in spiritual cultivation, some people have reached a very high realm.
留觉吗？留觉，
Do you know what solitary here
连结
or pratika
四圣界，
Buddhahood
四圣界，
of the 4 holy realms?
一个是
Buddhas, Bodhisattvas.
佛，再来是菩萨，
After the Buddhas and then Bodhisattvas,
连结，
Pratika
最后是
Buddhas,
佛。
and then Arhat.
为什么分成4层？佛、菩萨，
Why are they divided into 4 levels?
再来就是
Buddhas,
阿罗汉
Bodhisattvas,
其中第3个叫做
Pratika Buddhas,
也叫做
and
独觉，
Arhats.
是独自的独，
Why
自觉，
it's called Pratika Buddha or alone Buddha?
因为他很高傲，
A Buddha who has attained Buddhahood by himself, because he's very
这么一点，
aloof,
他不能够成为
just with one weakness, he cannot attain Bodhisattvahood,
很高傲，
because he feels that he has reached a very high realm, so becomes very arrogant,
很傲慢，
very proud,
反而变成非常的傲慢，就是我
because the spiritual cultivation is very high and become very proud
这个讲这个
and heartless.
大部分就讲自己的先生
Usually you say that to your
没有
husbands,
良心的东西。
the heartless thing.
我以前我妈妈也是讲我爸爸，没有良心的东西，
My mom always said to my dad, the heartless
喜欢去伤
thing
害别人的心。
enjoy harming other people's hearts.
这个其实啊，他自己认为他已经修行到很高，
Because he feels that he's reached a very high realm, because he chants Hiking Sutra 21 times every day for 3 years.
智慧不是没有。你看四圣界
This does exist.
3层，
The 3rd level of the 4 holy realms,
本身就是有我慢，
Pratika Buddha
才会排在第3层。
or the lone Buddha
不然他
has pride.
菩萨就是有
That's why he's at the 3rd level. Otherwise, he would have been a bodhisattva.
佛呢
Bodhisattva has compassion,
佛
and Buddha has everything.
根本就没有办
It's
法。
complete. No words can describe it.
佛本身来讲，具足了一切，
A Buddha is complete with everything,
成就一切的功德，
complete with all attainments and all
一
merits
切的道，
and all
具足了
good fortunes and all virtues.
连结，他
But Pratika Buddha is rather proud or arrogant. So what you said is not bad. Someone that has a very high level of spiritual cultivation sometimes would become arrogant, but not heartless. He would not do anything bad. Maybe he has harmed you somehow. That's why you pointed to him as heartless and harming people's heart. I hope this person who's been chanting Hiking Sutra 21 times daily for 3 years can hear Grandmaster's teaching and can change his heart to become gentle and modest, humble, and not harming other people. This does exist. Look at the legends of the gods. The person who wrote it was called Lu Xixin, a Taoist master. Taoist master Lu Xixin wrote the legends of the gods. Those who were entitled, who were given the titles of gods, were supposed to become sages, but because they got distracted and became arrogant and then harmed each other. So that's why they were being punished by Jiang Ziya. Because they compete, and one wins, one loses. At that time, Lingbao Tianzun, Yanshi Tianzun, Taisang Laojun, Lingbao Tianzun, they are the 3 patriarchs, the 3 pure, and one of them, Lingbao Tianzun, his disciples like to fight. They like to compete and wants to win. They regard themselves as having very high spiritual cultivation. They came down here and was about to become sages. Like Zhao Gongming was on the way to become a sage. Zhao Gongming, the fortune god. Lingbao Tianzun told his disciples, stay inside your own cave and chant the Huang Ting Jing, the sutra, and don't get involved in the competition or in the fight. So Zhao Gongming stayed in his cave and chanted the sutra. But Zhao Gongming's several sisters went down the mountains and fought with other people, and they lost. And then cried and complained to their brother Zhao Gongming. And finally he could not hold himself and came down. That's why now he's only a fortune god, Zhao Gongming. He could not become a sage. There's a difference between a sage and a god. A sage is carefree but gods have responsibilities, have duties, and they're controlled. Arrogant, heartless, and harming other people. Those should not be allowed. Those are not good. So the person who chant Hiking Sutra should understand. And you also have to generate bodhicitta. This is the answer to Lianhua Vivi. From Singapore, Lianhua Laicheng. Homage to the most precious Grandmaster. I would like to ask, how do we confine the six roots and incessantly purify the mind? How about yourself? What methods do you use? Confine the six roots, and the six roots are the eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Confine the six roots. Your body is not moving, the eyes closed so you don't see, the ears don't listen, don't hear, the nose doesn't smell, the tongue doesn't taste, doesn't taste anything, the body doesn't touch. And the mind is focused on one thing. What is confining the six roots? Which means you to close off all the six roots. The Vairocana 7 postures is to confine the six roots. When you meditate, you close your eyes. Or it's slightly open, looking at the tip of your nose. Or looking right in front. Close your eyes. Just focus on one point. Your ears don't hear anything. The nose doesn't smell anything fragrant or stinky. And the tongue, the taste is stopped temporarily. The body doesn't touch or doesn't lean on anything. All upright. This is very important. This is called the 7 postures of meditation. Is to confine the 6 roots. And the mind is completely on the breathing. You count your breaths. Your mind is completely on your breathing. How long you breathe in and how long you breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. All is on your breathing. Then you would be able to confine the 6 roots and incessantly purify the mind. No more mind. Your mind is on the breathing. This is the method to enter meditation. Incessantly purify the mind, because your mind is on your breathing. Of course, then it's pure. Eventually, your mind is abiding in the sky. There's no more breathing. That's called confining the 6 roots. You use this method to apply it. This is called the Dhamma practice of counting your breaths. I use this method. Grandmaster uses this method. Counting breaths to confine the 6 roots. The eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind all closed off. And eventually even the mind is closed off to become the sky. But you start with the breathing, counting the breath. And how long for the inhalation and how long for the exhalation. Inhalation, how long. Exhalation, how long. That's purifying the mind. From Taiwan, Lianhua Xiaoyin.
敬爱的师尊你好，弟子觉得在修法与生活中，好像
I find it difficult to assimilate Dharma practice into daily life. When I practice, my mindset is calm and clear. But at work, when my boss gives me lots of instructions, sometimes I argue with them.
若同事出言不逊，也不免心生怨恨。
Or when my co-workers' words are unyielding, I resent it. When a colleague is performing rather well, I feel jealous. I also haggle over money and fight with my brothers. All transgressions of greed, anger, ignorance, doubt, and pride, I preach them all. The other day, you give a teaching saying that you are false. I am false too, knowing already that everything is illusory. Why am I still unable to transcend it? Please be kind to give your advice. How can I apply my practice to my daily life so that I am not affected by my circumstances? Homage and bow to you. This is a good question. Lianhua Xiaoyin.
村民不结晓，村民不协晓的晓。
The meaning of Xiao is dawn.
吟诗作对的吟。我告诉你，你如果修法跟生活融成一片，
Let me tell you,
而且你也懂得
if you
这
can
个的话，
assimilate your practice
圣人
into your daily life completely, then you're already
人家讲话，
a
心里
sage.
埋怨，
You don't argue with your boss, and doesn't matter what other people say, you have no grudges, no resentment. And someone else doing better, you don't have jealousy, and you don't argue or fight with brothers and sisters. Then your
我们
spiritual cultivation is very high.
每一个世俗人都会跟你一样。
You know, most of
只有
us
你这样，
and most of ordinary people are the same with you, not just you.
人也会
Don't think it's just you. Even for spiritual cultivators, they're like that
因为
too.
这样子是正常的，
It's normal that you're like
这样
this,
子是反常的。
and then abnormal if you're not like this.
你如果能够反
If you're able to become
你已经
abnormal
修养非常的高，修养非常。
and you have a very high level of spiritual cultivation,
当师尊也不是很容易当的。
it's not so easy to become a guru.
如果讲一句话，
If Grandmaster says
这个
something,
人一下子
say something about a person,
道心，
that person immediately leave and left.
你讲了上师，上师也跑了，
If you say something to a master,
就已经跑了，
the master also left.
上师也跑了。
There are many masters who have left from here. They are no longer masters.
已经是上师了，
And they are masters already.
心也不坚固，
They don't have strong spiritual commitment.
讲了他几句也不能
But just say a few statements
修。
and immediately they dash off. They ran away.
上师也不能讲，
I cannot say anything about masters.
何况是弟子？
Moreover, just disciples.
你骂他弟子几句，
If you say a few words about disciples, immediately they say, I'm leaving.
就退道心。真不知道他的道心在哪里，
I don't know where the spiritual commitment is.
他就不学佛。
They don't want to become, they don't want to practice Buddhism anymore. You want to learn what you said. Your boss gives you lots of instructions. If you argue with your boss, then that's the end of you. You would lose your job. The same thing with co-workers. You have to live in harmony, no grudges. If a colleague is doing well, you should congratulate them and learn from them. How can you be jealous of them? Your brothers and sisters should live together in harmony. How can you have fight with them? So we should not have greed, anger, and ignorance. Instead, we should have precepts, meditative stability, and wisdom. We use precepts, meditation, and wisdom to stop greed, anger, and ignorance. Life is illusory. We practice our own. We shouldn't be affected by sentient beings. That's all I can say today. Don't move around. Don't be moved around by the sentient beings. Don't be affected by the circumstances or situations. You have to learn so that your mind is not affected by circumstances. Because when the mind is affected by the circumstances, then you become a mundane being. You want to kill. You want your mind to kill the circumstances. Then you would become a sage. But when the mind is affected by the circumstances, then you become mundane. So your spiritual cultivation is not there yet. Don't follow your circumstances. So you have to learn to endure one of the 6 paramitas, to be patient, to endure. You have to endure everything. If you know that human life is illusory, it's just illusory, it's fine, forget it, then it's no problem. Then there's no problem. This is very important. The human life is just illusory. How long can you live? Not long. Since you don't live very long, why do you want to have any arguments? Just forget it. So don't turn due to the circumstances. Your mind kills the circumstances, not let the circumstances kill you. That's all I can warn you. Because in Buddhism we talk about the 6 paramitas or the 6 perfections. One of them is endurance, and then giving, diligence, and endurance, and abiding by the precepts, and wisdom. Giving, or generosities, endurance or patience, diligence or tenacity, wisdom, meditation. What is? And abiding by the precepts. Those are the 6 perfections, 6 paramitas. You have to learn to endure and to give. And you need to regard the human life as illusory, because your body is false and everything is false. You want to be able to transcend this. Only this is called spiritual cultivation. And then if you master this, then you can apply your practice into your daily life. Then both of them can merge together. That's all I could say. So these are just the titles in Lamdre. The guiding path. 1. The guiding path of Qi, divided into 4. The spiritual experiences of holding the basic position of the 5 Qi. The spiritual experiences of increasing the 5 kinds of power, the spiritual experiences of upholding the 4 major kinds, etc., the spiritual experiences of upholding the 16 minor kinds, etc. Second, the guiding path of ambrosia, divided into 3. The spiritual experiences of ambrosia, especially well distributed, the spiritual experiences of increasing the power of the ambrosia, and the spiritual experiences of increasing the light drops. Third, the guiding path of the channel seeds, divided into 3. The guiding path of the ordinary characters, the guiding path of 14 characters, and the guiding path of the inconceivable characters. Those are just the titles. It will be explained later. This is the instruction on the 3 guiding paths. 1 is the guiding path of Qi, and the guiding path of ambrosia, and the guiding path of the channel seeds. That's all. Om Mani Padme Hum. Let me share a few jokes. There's no need to explain. They are all just the titles. I will explain it later. Well, let me explain these 3 guiding paths. 1 is Qi. Qi, or vital energy. So you use the Qi inside your body as a guiding path. And the second one is ambrosia, which is the light drops. So the guiding path of ambrosia. And third is the guiding path of the channel seeds. Of course, it's very simple. The Qi, light drops, and channels. 3 kinds of guiding paths. Qi, guiding path, channels, guiding path, and light drops, guiding path. The channels are all the joints and nervous systems. Those are the roads. And light drops. Ambrosia is the light drops. And Qi is the car. Qi is the car, the transportation. And ambrosia, it's the products being transported by the cars, and the channels are the roads. There's this joke discussing divorce with my wife, and we were talking about dividing the house. And the wife was suggesting a suggestion that I cannot argue, but it sounds good. So husband's usually in charge of the external affairs and the wife of internal affairs. So outside the house is yours and inside the house is mine. So what stupid thing is that? The man is in charge of the outside and the woman is in charge of the inside. So outside the house is yours and inside the house is mine. So should I mow the lawn every day? I went to the market to buy fish, and I caught a lively fish and asked the boss, how much is this? $8 a pound. And then I point to another fish that's almost turning upside down. How about that one? $8 too. And I said, but this fish is about to die. And the boss just said it calmly. No, it's not that, but it's too hot. He didn't want to get out of bed. So the boss is really quite fun. That's funny. Last night I brought girlfriend to see the shooting stars and I make a wish. The girlfriend asked, what kind of wish did you make? I cannot say it, otherwise it will not come true. And the girlfriend got really angry. So will you say it or not? If you don't say it, then let's break up. And the man said, oh my God, so accurate and happens right away. So he wanted to break up with her. A lover was riding cycles and they speeded. Oh, they're so fast, I'm scared. Don't be scared, just close your eyes. This is prohibited if you close your eyes. That the roads are like the mouth of the tiger. If you close your eyes and the steering wheel cut off a little bit, then you would be in an accident. My family called me and asked me to take a day off. And the manager said, it's busy at work. Where do you need to get off? And the employee said, my wife asked me to go home to clean the house. And the manager said, no way. And the employee said, thank you so much, manager. She didn't want to go home and clean either. There's so many swindlers nowadays. I bought a plant that would, with the mimosa plant, that it doesn't matter how I touch it, it doesn't close the leaves. So the boss said, but because you got the shameless one. This ends the English interpretation today. Thank you very much.